Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about that HTTP module, right? How can create some of the server, how can run it. I hope everything is very much clear to you. Now in this video, we'll solve one of the issue. Like first of all, we will create one of the server, which I have already created one of the server. And then I want to read a HTML file. Okay, I want to create another file in here as a one of the HTML file. And from to the HTML file, I want to get some of the data. I want to read this data. Then I want to send this data as a response from to the server. Okay, so how can do that work? But I show you, like here first of all I want to run or create the server. So I have already created one of the server as a HTTP request. That is our HTTP module. I take it, that is our server. When server will be running, then that will be displayed as a server is now running. Okay, right now I don't need this. I simply remove it. Okay, so I remove it, and then our server port will be as a 3000. So with this we'll solve our first problem as a create a server. Okay, so that is our create a server code. And I want to create another file. Okay, into this area I want to create another new file, and I just name it as a new.html. So that will be on the HTML file, and here I want to get some of the code, that is HTML document code, and I make it as a server. Okay, server, and then I put some of the inner body area to add on of the h1 tag. I want add on the h1 tag as a hi, my name is Aryan. Okay, that is one of the HTML code. So now first of all I want to get this data. That means this all that our new HTML data. So if you want to get it, you can get it by two different way. You can get it from to the asynchronous function or the synchronous functions. Okay, so before I have already discussed about that asynchronous functions, but I want to use that as a asynchronous. So if you want to use that asynchronous function, first of all here we have to load that fs, right? Then I want to take another variable as a constant variable, and I just name it as a fs. Okay, so with this fs, then first of all we have to take our fs module. So if you want to load that fs module, that means if you want to input it, then that will be as a required, right? With this required function here I want to load our fs. Great. Here I loaded that fs module, and also I want to use that as asynchronous function. So for the reasons here we have to pass that as a promises. I simply pass this promises. Great. Now I want to get this data from our new HTML, right? So here if you want to get it, what exactly you have to do? I think you already remember that part. That will be, I take another variable as a constant variable. Okay, constant variable, I just name it as a data. And then if you want to use that functions, then first of all we have to use that as a await, right? Await, and then fs, and then with this fs I want to get this data. That means that will be as a read file function. So with this read file I want to read this file. So that is into the same location. That means that is our new.html. okay, so that is our file, and also here we have to pass that encode tag. Encode tag will be as a utf. Okay, utf-8. I simply use that as a utf-8. Great. Now I want to load our new HTML. So if you want to load it, that means into the response area, in our server response area I want to pass it. So if you want to pass it, first of all that will be the response. Okay, response, and then with the and, right? That is the and method, and into this and method area I want to pass our this data. Okay, I simply pass this data, right? And also if you want to show the type, then that will be the response, and then our response, that is another method as a write. Okay, write head. So with this write head, as I told you before, here we have to pass that as a, I make it as a 200. Okay, 200 our status code, and then our type that will be on the object, that is a contain. Okay, I want to pass it in here. That will be as a contain type. Okay, content type, I simply pass that content type, and our content type will be, that is one of the HTML content. That means that it will be as a text and then HTML, right? So that is one of the HTML file I have created. So I simply loaded this HTML. So now if our server is now running, our server port as a 3000. Okay, that is the same server code. Now I just click as a save all. Now you can see it's now show some of the error. It's showing as a await is only valid for asynchronous function. Okay, and the top level bodies and the module. So here I'm actually pass that asynchronous function as await, right? So also here we have to do, that is our function. Into this function area I want to pass that our asynchronous. Okay, here also you have to pass it. Before I have already passed it, so right now that will be as a asynchronous. Okay, here you have to pass that as asynchronous. Now that should be okay. Now click as a save all. Now let's check this our server is now successfully running. And now if you go, now if you refresh it, yes, you can see it's now perfectly get that name as a hi, my name is Aryan. Okay, so now it's successfully get our HTML code, and you can see also get the title. So I have already created on the file as a new, and that is our name as a hi, my name is Aryan, and also that is our title. Into this title I pass that as a server. You can see it's now displayed as a server, and then hi, my name is Aryan. That is very easy on the process, but step by step everything will be needed later. I hope friend you get some of the idea how much easily you can actually run on of the server, and into the server area how you can load some of the file. Okay, so that is our 3 tasks. We successfully complete these 3 tasks, and now we are able to run on of the file. Okay, that is our file is now successfully running in our this port. Great. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.